So, all right. So, thank you guys so much for hopping on. We wanted to put together some mom boss tips because, I think a lot of the coaches on our team tend to be stay-at-home dog moms, and that is not very helpful for people that are trying to build their business with babies. So, I was really trying to branch out, and so I posted in the wall or one of our 5-star groups for 5-star coaches and above. And Desiree reached out and said, hey, I'd love to help. If I can do this, anybody can, because Desiree, her first child he's under 3, right?
You just turned 3.
He's 3. Okay. And then she just had twin babies. So how old are your twin boys?
3.5 months.
Yeah. So she is a rock star. She is she's been a coach since May of 2014. She was a 2015 Elite 5-star Diamond, and so SC10 All-Star Legend. We actually met this year in it was like a public transportation or something like a New Leader Conference. And so then I just kind of became friends, kind of followed her here and there. And then I found kind of watched her journey as she was pregnant with twins. And she's also been really great at showing her transformation. She looks amazing for just having 2 baby boys and is really just rocking this business and making it work. So she's just kind of a prime example of if she can do it, really, truly anybody can. She's got 3 and under, 2 of them being twins, and kind of fighting for her time all the time. So I'm really, really excited for this call. Take notes, listen, tag people that need this in the recording, and go ahead. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, great. So thank you. I'm so honored to be on this call, just because I feel like this is something that is, for me, it's almost like second nature, because when I started this business, I was a brand new mom. Brayden was only 6 months old when I first became a coach. And so I started, and I was kind of looking for a sense of camaraderie with a different group of people. I was looking to lose a little bit of weight. And I was looking for something to stay at home with my family and bring in a little bit of extra income. And so when I first started, my goal was initially just to earn enough money to pay for groceries. And that was really all I was coming into this business for. And what I came out of it with was a full-time income to help bring home my husband from working 3 jobs. He was working 3 jobs at the time. And my son, Brayden, God bless him, I love him to death, but he is not one of those easy babies that you can kind of just like put down and they fall asleep on their own. And so his first 2 years of his life, before I got pregnant with the twins, it was a lot of carrying, a lot of rocking, a lot of cuddling. He nursed till he was almost 2 years old. He was one of those babies. So I had to really find my way in this business, despite different obstacles. And, a little bit more about my journey. My dad passed away a year ago, and, my husband went through some very difficult times personally. And so I've had a lot of obstacles in my 2 years of this business that I've, been able to overcome because I've had, certain systems in place for myself. I've stayed organized, and I just, had a vision for my business the entire time. So, I want to just let you guys know that being a mom in this business doesn't necessarily have to be like something that holds you back, especially when you have like a specific dream or you have a goal set in mind. When I became a brand new diamond in 2014, like December, and then in January 2015, I set that goal for myself to become a 2015 elite coach. And so I had a vision for my business. I knew where I was going, and I knew what I had to work towards every single day. And for me, identifying my why, which was always Brayden at the time, it's always been Brayden, has been the driving force and the fuel that has constantly pushed my car. Every time, the days that I want to give up, or the days that I feel like I'm not doing something right in this business, or I feel like I suck, or whatever it is, I always remember that I'm doing this for Brayden, and that I'm doing this to change our life and the life of our family. And so that's my first tip, is basically to have a vision for your business and always identify and keep your why right in front of you. And you'll see me share on social media. I say a lot that I always stare at it's crazy. I stare at my child and I'm like, this is why I am doing this, because I don't want to tell him at some point that we can't afford to send him to baseball practice, or tell him that I can't go to his football practice because I have to go to my job, or to not even be able to participate in little lunches at his preschool, whatever it is. I want to be 100% present in his life. And so having that why staring at you constantly is just something that I feel is so powerful and so strong that it will constantly drive you forward in this business no matter what. But it is so important for you to have a vision, most importantly. Not just a short-term vision, like I want to be diamond in 3 months or whatever, but a long-term vision. Like I want to create a 6-figure income by, 2017 or whatever. Having that vision helps you reverse engineer your goals so that you can work towards it consistently and break it down into smaller goals, like monthly goals or even weekly goals or whatever it is. Make sure that your goals are always SMART, so they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Because when they're not SMART goals, then you're really they're just kind of dreams that are in the air, as opposed to something that's like physically that you can work towards. And as a mom, always ask yourself, what is this going to do for your family? For me, this helps bring home my husband from working 3 jobs. Now he works primarily from home. He only works 1 job. And, when I was in the trenches in the beginning of this business, I kept saying to myself, what is this going to do for my family? What is this going to do for my family? And I always had that goal in mind and this vision for the future of what our family was going to become. My second tip is to create a system that works for you. Now, a system meaning like Teamsy, Excel, Asana, Evernote, anything that works for you. Now, your upline sponsor coach might be doing something that might not necessarily work for you. I work with a lot of my personally sponsored coaches who are always like, what is it that you're doing to help you stay organized? And I can share what I'm doing all day, but my brain works a little bit differently than other people's brains. So find something that works for you, whether you're a pen and paper person or you prefer Excel or Teamsy. Find whatever it is that works for you and then stick to it, because you really need a proper system in place in order for you to run efficiently when you find those pockets of time in your day to work. As moms, we don't always have, 2-3 hours set aside of time to be able to work our business. So you have to find those pockets in the day, whether it's a 30-minute nap, or for me, it's in the middle of the night when my babies are nursing. Like those are the times that I get my inviting it done. In those little tiny pockets of time. I do not have hours of a day, not right now at least, with my newborns. When it was just Brayden, I was able to schedule out my time and be like, okay, from 7 to 8, he doesn't wake up till 8 in the morning, so I'm gonna work a power hour from 7 to 8. When your time becomes a little bit more structured, your kids have a certain schedule, it's easier for you to schedule your days out. And that's my number 3 tip, is to set business hours for yourself that work for you and your family. And schedule family time. So I use Google Calendar, and I say like, okay, from 5 to 7 is family time, and I'm gonna do nothing. I'm not gonna have my phone near me. I'm not gonna have my computer open. I'm gonna strictly be with my family. This allows me the opportunity to spend time with my why. It allows me to deplug from all the work that I'm doing throughout the day to spend time with the reason why I'm doing this business. But then I also, when Brayden had a set schedule, I was able to say 7 to 8 in the morning, I'm going to do a power hour. And then after he goes to bed at 9, from 9 to 12, I'm going to work. So set those business hours for yourself and then work them. Show up like your boss is going to fire you. Show up to your business hours every day and just get it done. Let's see. I schedule out my weeks too. So, I look at my week and I'm like, okay, Brayden has school on Tuesday, Thursday. The twins have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. And I put out my schedule, all these things for Google Calendar. And then I will print out my calendar and I'll post it on the refrigerator so that my husband can see it. And so this kind of makes things more visual. It helps him visualize what my schedule is like, so he knows where he can come in and help me if need be. Now, he knew that I had a call today, so he is picking up Brayden from school right now because he knew that that would help me. My number 4 tip is to communicate with your spouse. So these kind of run into each other. It's communicating with your spouse. Share your vision for your business so that they know what you are working towards. In 2015, January 2015, I told Tony that I was going to be a 2015 elite coach. And he knew that that meant long hours, late nights, him helping me and stepping in with Braden a little bit more. And so for him, he knew what my vision was. He knew what I was always working towards, and he knew that him helping me throughout the day would help me reach my goals, easier. I also shared with him that, this was our goal. This is our business, and this is what it's going to do for our family. And when I shared that with him, it just made it that much more of like a team thing, like it's something that we could do together to reach our goals together. Let's see. Oh, and another thing that I recommend is finding out, what it is. Sometimes I know that some people that don't have necessarily a very supportive spouses, I always recommend including your spouse in your business and kind of playing to what their strengths are. So my husband is really good at talking to people. And so when I find that I'm struggling with coming up with an objection or just selling a challenge pack or whatever, I'll reach out to him and say, hey, I have somebody who is giving me this objection, they would rather go to the gym. What would you say to them? And I feel like that kind of gives him that boost of confidence that he needs to feel that he's included in this business with me. Maybe your spouse is an accountant and they're really good with money. You can ask them, hey, would you mind helping me with, I don't know, doing our expenses for the business or whatever. Figure out what it is that your husband or your spouse or wife, whatever, is strong at, and then include them in the business so that they feel like they're helping you build this dream together. And my last and final tip is to give yourself grace. As a mom, it is impossible. It is impossible to raise a family and run a business and be perfect all the time. Nothing will ever be perfect. You will try to schedule your twins' naps around team calls, and it won't work. But at the end of the day, everything will work out. And if you constantly have that vision for yourself and your family, you can really accomplish absolutely anything. I truly believe that if I can do this business, anybody can. I was really shy when I first started this business. And now here I am talking on team calls. So, and that's it. That's really all my tips.
I love that so much. And I totally forgot that Nicole, who's on here, her son's name is Braden too.
Hey.
Yeah, as soon as you wrote that, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. But so I'm going to leave it open to you guys because I haven't even ventured in here yet. Have no idea what I'm in for. So, so please speak up anything that you're struggling with or anything that is on your heart that you are, maybe struggling with, your business, being a mom, whatever. Pick everybody's brain.
Okay, I'll go first. I have like a full page of notes, so that was really awesome. Thank you. I have like tons of ideas now.
Oh, yeah.
I think what I was really struggling with is my husband, he's really supportive and like he's always like, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. Like, but I think he's in school full time too, so he has a hard time like realizing like that I need like some time too that doesn't require me just getting up really early before everyone and staying up late after everyone because I'm exhausted. But basically, I think my hardest thing is actually making a schedule. So like, I think if you have any tips there, like you said, like, you make your schedule family time and you make your schedule for what's going on during the week. Like, I don't ever feel like I ever like take the time to sit down and do it all because I'm like overwhelmed with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
My kids are 3, not 3 yet, but he's almost 3, 1.5, and then almost 3 months old. So like, I don't have like sporting events or anything to take them to, but I don't know. It's hard, I guess. I
totally understand. So what I do is I sit down on Sunday nights and like literally for like 30 minutes and I look at my week and I'm like, okay, the National Wake Up Call is on Monday morning. Our Dare to Dream team call is on Monday night. And then, from there, I start with family stuff. So I start and schedule out my family time. So like, when your husband is working or is in school or whatever. So put that on the calendar so that like, okay, these are the times that I can't rely on him. These are the times it's just 100% me. Even writing things out like, okay, this day you need to pick up dinner, or this day, you need to help me with getting the kids to school or something like that. You know, even the little things, scheduling out your entire down to almost every minute can just be that much more helpful and make you feel like that much more like you have control of things. Scheduling at least 1 hour of business time, whether it be early in the morning or late at night. Yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah, so just, I mean, it's hard. I totally get it but, you know, at least dedicating yourself, saying, okay, on Sunday nights, I'm going to spend 30 minutes and just schedule out my week. That way I can print it out and show him and let him know what it is that I have going on with my business during the week so he can step in and help if he can, if that makes sense.
I have a question. So I also have a very supportive spouse, but he doesn't do anything on social media. Actually, I like had tears in my eyes when he's like, I think I want to join your challenge group. And I was like, what? I didn't know how to freaking like post and comment on things yesterday.
Wow.
So he is completely willing to help me. And right now I'm finishing up some PT from a broken neck a year ago, and then we're going to try to get pregnant. And like Elsie's 3 now. She's independent. I do have the ability to make business hours and put her in front of cartoons for an hour in the morning and work. Yeah. And I know a baby is not that way. So I want to start to get into a family system so that when we throw a baby in, I've already got the extra help, but I really don't know how to have Mark help me. And because he doesn't, I mean, he's got a lot of strengths. I just don't know really how his strengths.
Work a typical like 9-to-5 job?
Yes, he's an attorney.
Okay. I mean, an attorney, so he
actually has a really good life balance, though. He works for a federal law clerk, so he's never home later than 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's great. So, I mean, like, honestly, especially with, you know, with thinking about a baby in the future, you know, you really kind of want to just get into that routine of scheduling out an hour of your time and being like, hey, would you mind, you know, taking her for bath time or whatever, so I can sit here down and do work while you're giving her a bath. You know, even if it's just 1 or 2 nights a week that he could help give her a bath while you're doing work would definitely be helpful for you. But I think the most important thing really is just communicating with your spouse that you need help, because I feel like sometimes we as moms like think it's so obvious for us to help them. Like, we are always thinking 10 steps ahead, but with men, they just don't think about it. You know, they just are doing what they're doing. But when you ask them and direct them and tell them what you need, they're kind of like dogs. They just do it.
So when you're doing your family planning on Sunday, you would actually plan out like Tuesday, Thursday, Mark is taking bath time from like, you would write that down and then you would tell your husband at the beginning of the week. All right, so Tuesday and Thursday, I'm working from 6 to 8. You're doing dinner and bath time with Elsie and whatever other kids we have, because we have extra kids here.
Yep. And Tony says, okay, that's fine. He never tells me no.
Mark would be totally on board with that too. It's just setting it in and I do have a calendar. I have a kitchen in the calendar that has different colors. So it's Beachbody stuff, and black is like appointments and things, because right now I have PT like 3 times a week. I have more appointments than any kids would ever require. But yeah, I like that. And I think that's a really good tip for Ashley too, because I feel like Ashley is always such a one-woman show, and like she has 3 kids under 3 and she just does it, and she's just superwoman. And Josh is such a supportive spouse. So I'm sure that if you ask Josh like 2 nights a week, like, can you really try to take over and only come get me if you need the boob? Oh, you don't even nurse. So really, he doesn't even need to come and get you for the boobs. So, you know, like if you ask Josh to do that a couple nights a week, like planned, I'm sure he would.
It's really hard for us as women to ask, because we really do just do it all, you know, and it just comes so natural to us that we just keep trugging along and we just almost forget to ask. So, you know, even give yourself grace for forgetting to ask, because, you know, we do try and do it all, but we just can't at the end of the day.
As stay-at-home moms, you think like, I'm a housekeeper too. Like that's my job. Like this is a bonus job, but yeah, no, really good call. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think that maybe what it is that, like, Josh, he's just as busy as I am. So he's in school full time. He's coming home having to write, like, 3-page reports, which is something he's never done. So it takes him a lot longer. He's never used a computer in his life.
Mm-hmm.
All these classes that he has to do. Plus, it's wood season time. So he's been chopping firewood. It's, like, stuff that we have to have done. So it's hard to be like, look, you can't go these 2 hours of daylight and cut firewood because I have to do this when we need firewood to heat our house. You know what I mean? So, yes.
Yes, but so, and I understand that totally because my husband works too, and he's like very busy. He's a mortgage broker, and so sometimes he like is pulled in all different directions, and like sometimes he does manual labor for just pickup jobs here and there as well. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember that your business is a priority as well, and it's important. I'm sure it's important to your husband too, because you, again, if you identify your vision and what you want to get out of your business, your husband is going to be fully supportive of the fact that, you know, you want to earn X amount of dollars by the end of the year, and you guys have to work as a team to accomplish that. So your business is a priority too. Like, it might seem easier because we can squeeze our time in whenever, but they have to be very understanding that, you know, this is our job as well. And so you have to prioritize it and give me an hour a day to be able to work it. You know what I mean? It's not too much to ask for like this or that, even if they're just as busy as we are.
I actually have a question responding. Oh, I just, hold on. Sorry. I'm on the wrong screen. Where'd it go?
I don't know. I can see you.
Okay. So I see you all now. So yeah, in response to April's question for me, I kind of have like the opposite issue right now, and I'm trying to find a balance. My husband's not very supportive of this, and I was a preschool teacher before this, and we just spent the last like 3 years in Japan. So I had a baby, then moved to the United States, got settled on the West Coast, and started doing Beachbody stuff because I was feeling like nothing but a wife, mother, maid, cook, clean. Like, that was my job. That was my purpose. I had nothing else for myself. So I started doing this just for something for myself, and it's brought back a lot of who I am, and, you know, I found myself again in it, and it's a big goal of mine to be successful in this, and I've been putting a lot of work into it, and I'm making this a legit business, and I'm super pumped for it, but my husband's not very supportive about it. He doesn't see it as a job. He doesn't help around the house, so I'm kind of like mom and dad. My son's about to turn a year old. Braden will be 1 on Friday. So he's at the age where he's mobile now, and, you know, trying to keep up with figuring out a schedule for him, and, you know, taking care of everything for myself, my husband, the baby, and everyone else, and still find time for my business. And I just want to see if anyone maybe had some tips on how to try to get my husband on board, because the lack of support and the doubt in me kind of put me in a rut this last couple months, and I kind of fell off the wagon hard because I started to believe it. You know, he doesn't believe in me, so I didn't believe in myself, and I just started millionaire school, and it was like a light bulb went off. Like, I don't need his support. And he had made a quote in there that you deserve to be treated exactly the way that you allow others to treat you. And I've been allowing it for years now, and I'm over it. I finally believe in myself, and I know that I can do this. It just kind of sucks that I'm doing it all on my own. Yeah. And if anybody had any advice for that.
I actually have a couple of coaches in my downline who have the same exact problem, where their spouse or their significant other or whatever just isn't supportive or feeds doubt into their mind, like telling them that they got into this too late, or you know, that it isn't as important, or they can work it whenever they want, or blah blah blah. And, you know, honestly, my advice to them is always to just I tell them to sprinkle little bits of personal development into their life, you know, and not to necessarily push it on them, because men don't like things pushed on them, but to, like, you know, share, okay, hey, sometimes I'll share like a PD video with my husband here and there, and I can't necessarily say that he watches it, but, you know, just sharing those things and sharing how important it is to you, and again, sharing your vision for your business. For me, has been the number one way to incorporate my husband into my business so that he is fully supportive. I can't say that it always works. I know that my coaches do it. And sometimes, like, their spouses will, you know, catch the bug for a day or two. But constantly sharing how important this is to you, and where your plan, like how this is important for your family, and what it is that it's going to do for your family. and trying to include him in as much as possible so that he feels like he's part of it. Because a lot of things with, you know, this job is all on social media, it's all on your phone, it's all on the computer, so they feel very secluded and not included. So any ways that you can include your spouse in any small way, even asking for advice for something stupid that you already know the answer to, you know, just making sure that they're included in some way, shape, or form just makes them feel like they're kind of part of it. I mean, it's hard. It's really tough, and I totally feel for you because I see it in my downline a lot, but that's the only advice that I've
been
got.
a rough couple of weeks. I saw the posts from Ashley and the other girls on here in the chat. I've definitely been trying to, you know, I talk about it all the time. I have boards and posts everywhere, especially since I've started the Millionaire School. I've got my rules for life and my goals and my purpose all up everywhere. And the fact that having to do that, one of my, like, looking really deep at everything, one of my main goals and rules for my life and purposes right now is to be independent, and to be able to do this on my own is scary and sad at the same time, because I don't want to think that way, and we've been struggling for a while, but I've been sharing how much this means to me. I mean, I am not shy about talking about how this has changed my life for the better, and like, I feel like everyone else sees it but him. Like,
some guys don't like that, because what it does is it shines a light on things that he's doing wrong or that he's not doing for himself, you know? Like, you are moving forward, you are bettering yourself, and he's not. So that's shining that light on him, and it's that's showing his insecurity. So that's basically what it is he's very insecure that you are doing something for yourself and for your family, and he's just not. And that sucks. It sucks. And you know, I've had the same struggles with my husband. We've gotten past it, but it took a lot of me talking about, you know, about how this is bettering my life, and how it bettering my life is, you know, rolling over into our family's life, and it's going to make things better for our family. And, you know, when I started to bring him to Beachbody events, like when I brought him on the cruise recently, like, he saw it. He got it then. He understood what it was that I was working towards for our family, and, you know, how this was changing our life, and how amazing and incredible this community is. So sharing things like that with him, like if you can bring him on the Success Club trip, or if you can bring him to Summit or whatever it is, just including your spouse in as much as possible is my number one tip for that.
Yeah, I would say too, this, when I first saw the change in Matt was after Cancun 2 years ago. You know, he's never not been supportive, but it was more like he was like a cheerleader, like, you go, girl, you work that social media business, you know. I don't think he really quite understood. Like, he knew I was happy, so he was fine with it. Mm-hmm. But it was that when he really kind of got it and got how big it could be and things like that. And so I remember we were sitting in the airport waiting to go home, and he said, we were just sitting there eating, and he said, when you retire me, because I have been talking to him about it. And when he, like, actually said that, I'm like, what did you just say? Like, it was the first time, like, he said it, and he said, like, when I quit my job. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was just amazing to hear him actually say that, actually believe it, and actually see that vision that I had been picturing for so long too. So, you know, things like that, like when you can get them to Success Club trips and things like that they get to have fun with it. It's not like, you know, Summit is awesome too, but if they're sitting there in you know, you make them sit there in the seminars, they might be like, this is awful, you know, so you want to make sure that they get the fun side of it too. But yeah, that could be a game changer too. I just want to read some of these comments for anybody on the recording, because there's some really good tips in the chat. So let me just go through in some of these. Okay, so Ashley said in response to like somebody not being supportive or maybe not being totally on board, she said, I heard on a call to talk to him and simply say, I'm not asking you to join me. I just would appreciate you to support me. It's something I love doing. And I think that's a kind of like a light bulb moment for them. Sometimes they don't even realize that when they're doing this, it sounds so unsupportive. And so sometimes you just have to be like, look, you know, I have feelings. This is hurting me. And then She also said you can try to make a chalkboard for your home, change the photos for a couple days, sneak some good ones in there for him. I like that. Melissa said to watch Shalene's speech from last year's summit. Those are all available in your Coach Online office. I have to go figure out where they are so I can share that. I know they're in there somewhere. And then I think the rest of it's stuff we've touched on. But yeah, I really, really love this. And Desiree, I appreciate you so much taking the time out. Alexis or Krista, do either of you have anything else to ask? Good. Okay, well, I will let you all get back to your babies, and I will post a recording and share with you. Desiree, thank you so much for taking time. We really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.